bafethu niyaphila. Hey, ngila eNewcastle ngalento ye MK Labour Desk. Ayikonakele bafethu eNewcastle. Telling you, ongazi inkampani eNewcastle zisebenzela uhulumeni as a private and almost zonke asicomply. Sesambe inkampani zama-security, ama-cleaner, bafowethu, hayi bafowethu ngeke. I-condition abantu bakithi abasebenza kuyo and i-condition abasebenza kuyo kuma-private companies kodwa asebenzela uhulumeni. Bafowethu, hayi ngeke, it's unacceptable. I'm telling you, it's unacceptable. Hayi bafowethu, it's unacceptable. Uma kuthiwa ikhona lento yama-portfolio committees ema-parliament, please ake bahambe baye ey'bhedlela bafike ba-check-e nje ama-security. Ngiyabatshela iscope sabo. Bafike ba-check ama-security, bafike ba-check ama-cleaner, ba-check oporter, ba-check ikhishi. Bese beyabuza ukuthi bahola malini, bahola nini, ama-late payments akhona. I don't understand really ukuthi simuphi umhlaba la. eSouth Africa nje really akekho umuntu ongangitshela ukuthi mhlambe nina niya-understand abafowethu. No. I-minimum wage bahola abantu into ongayazi ukuthi ibizwa ngani. And ama-late payments, hey bawethu, ama-unfair dismissal, unfair labor practice, ungamenshina ama-leave abayi, ama-leave-in ko-sick leave abayi. Uma uke waba ku-sick leave kubanjwa imali oyikhava ngey'nsuku eziwu-3, 1,000 nento. Uye kanye nje ungayanga emsebenzini 1,000 nento, kodwa ngosuku uhola uthi uhola 100 nento. Bafethu, let me tell you something, asikakakhululeki. Mhlawumbe sisheshe sajabula oMandela bephuma ejele, sacabanga ukuthi kusho ukuthi sikhululekile thina abantu abamnyama. Into yami nje ithi mhlambe kwakungcono ekuqaleni. Mangibuka indlela okuyiyo manje, ngithi bafowethu kwakungcono ekuqaleni. Mangibuka uhulumeni, yabona lento yama-private companies, kuma-institution ka-government, nonsense enkulu, nonsense, and it's an abuse. Bafowethu, it's an abuse. These people are making our people slaves in their own country. Ngendlela emangalisayo, abantu bathola ama-millions, baholela abantu ama-peanuts. No, bafowethu, this must come to an end, really. This must come to an end. And Umkhonto awukwazi ukuba khona la for no reason.
Greetings, everyone. I hope you are fine. I hope you are doing well. Please bear in mind, I always say it's not about political parties, political movements, politicians, and so forth, but it's about the people. Why? Because these political movements, revolutionary movements, and etc., were established on behalf of the people in order to serve the people, in order to protect the people. So when some political parties are doing well, we have to applaud them. In other words, we have to appreciate what they are doing. For an example, MK Party has formed what they call Labor Desk in order to protect the laborers, the people of South Africa who are working for different companies across South Africa and in different industries. And that's a good thing. This is what they want. So I believe that what they are doing is to hold these companies accountable, because these companies are not complying at all. Because what comes in your mind the first time you think about no compliance, you think about spaza shops, you think about small businesses, you think about all these other businesses that are led by black people. But here is the thing. Most of these companies that we call giant companies, they are not complying at all. So this is what is happening. For an example, The moment you see a big company, you think everything is perfect. These are investors. These people are complying. These people are good because some of us, maybe these are the companies we wish we can work for. But little knowing that these companies are not complying at all. It's all about themselves. You think if they make billions, it's all about investments, it's all about South Africa. No, it's about themselves. They are not complying. It can be in logistics, it can be in retail, it can be in hospitality, it can be in different industries, security, and etc. etc. These companies are not complying. So in other words, I don't want to exaggerate, but 99.9999% of giant companies are not complying, because sometimes we think compliance it's all about, okay, they're not selling expired food, okay, in other words they pay tax and etc. and etc. That's not enough, because when it comes to the safety of the employees, they do as they please. The workplace is not conducive. When it comes to compensation, they are not compensating these employees at all. Some of these employees, they get injured at work and nothing is done, but instead they get fired. You make a small mistake at work, they give you a warning. Why? Because their aim is to get rid of you. In other words, is to kick you out of their company. Why? Because they don't want people who speak for other employees. They don't want people who speak for themselves. But at the end of the day, these unions are there. We have many labor unions. They are there. Then you ask yourself, what is the problem? The problem is the brown envelope. Because the moment they see the shining brown envelope, they forget about all these employees. That is why these companies are not complying. Because you ask yourself, there's a labor department. We have these labor unions who are representing workers, but companies are not complying. What is going on is because of a shining brown envelope. That is why these companies, they do as they please. If they feel like they have to fire you, you get injured at work, and they feel like maybe they might be in trouble, the first thing they do is to fire you. That is why all these small businesses, they've copied the behavior of these giant companies, because even when it comes to small businesses, 99.999% of these companies are not complying at all. Small businesses, to be specific, because they copied the behavior of these giant companies. These companies that we love, they are not complying at all. The safety of the employees, minimum wage, there's no minimum wage at all. That is why there are political parties who are like no to minimum wage. That is why these companies, they support those political organizations. Why? Because they want to run away with a profit. So every time you hear about these companies that they make billions, it's not about South Africa, it's not about investment, but it's about themselves. At the end of the day, they don't care. Especially if you go to logistic industry. These logistical companies are not complying at all. 99.9% of them are not complying, because most of these truck drivers, to be exact, are not registered, but they are working for companies that make money daily. They don't just make money, but they make millions. But yet these people are not registered. So our people are like, there's absolutely nothing we can do, because at the end of the day, we have to put bread on the table. So this is where government should come in. I like what MK Labor Desk is doing to intervene, to hold these companies accountable. So every time these companies, they see what MK Labor Desk is doing, now they try to humble themselves as if they are complying. So MK Labor Desk should not give them a chance. In other words, they have to push hard. Even if they try to like humble themselves, MK Labor Desk has to push hard to hold these people accountable, because right now they are afraid of the cameras. So that is why they're like, okay, let us act as if we are complying. So now they have to go to these logistical companies. They are not complying. Our brothers and sisters are working from, like for an example, 4 a.m. in the morning until 11 p.m. There's no safety, no overtime. In other words, you end up having health issues because there's no compliance at all. Then at the end of the day, you have the likes of bargaining council. At the end of the day, you have the likes of labor relations, law, and etc. etc. But these companies are not complying. What is going on? What is going on? These companies are not complying. So they've been enjoying themselves since 1994, even during apartheid. But since 1994, they've been enjoying themselves to the fullest because they know that they can fire you anyhow they want to, because there's absolutely nothing you can do, because most of our people can't afford the lawyers. Even if they can try by all means to afford the lawyers, to say, you know what, let's come together, let's donate so that we can get a lawyer. At the end of the day, that lawyer will see a shining brown envelope and that lawyer will sell them out. These companies are not complying. So when it comes to security companies, they are not complying at all. When it comes to salaries, they are not complying at all. Why? Because now you have to work from 6 until 6. 5 to 5. No safety, no minimum wage, no compensation, no overtime, nothing at all. So in other words, your life is always at risk because it's all about these people. Then on top of that, we have government institutions that have employed these private companies in the name of tendering. So tenderpreneurs don't think about business. They don't know anything about business. They don't know anything about marketing, but they think about themselves. They think about themselves. The moment government pays them, they pay these employees nothing. When it comes to security, it can be the securities that are in schools, the securities that are in different government institutions. In other words, there's no compliance at all. So if we have political parties like MK and they are going there on the ground to work, we have to we have to appreciate what they are doing, because they are doing this on behalf of those who cannot speak for themselves, because they know very well that if you approach maybe your HR at work, you can't do anything. You can't take these people anywhere because these people have lawyers. These people are on top. There's absolutely nothing you can do. So that is why you need a union, because a union was formed for that. But these unions are not doing anything. So what I like about MK Labor Desk, it seems as if they're pushing hard and they're holding these companies accountable. But they have to be careful of one thing: the brown envelope. The brown envelope, because you have to understand that these companies can't stop to tempt you with a brown envelope, because they know that at the end of the day, they are going to enjoy themselves.